This is Living Power with Dan Hurst.
The third thing that we understand about our ministry as compared to what Jesus' ministry was, that we are to live as one who has power over death, because you do. Christ has already given you power over death. He himself, 1 Peter 2:4 or 2:24 says, He himself bore our sins in his body on the tree, that we might die to sin and live to righteousness. And that's eternal. It's an eternal live to righteousness. We are eternal beings. The Bible ties sin and death together. Death exists because of sin. Mankind's sin. I'm not, maybe it might be an individual sin that somebody causes their death by. But the truth of the matter is that the Bible ties sin and death together. And you now, because you have victory over sin, have victory over death. Because you have power over death, the same Spirit of God that raised Jesus from the dead is living in you. And you also have power over sin. I love Keith Green's song, that we have this power of God that raised us from the dead and raised Christ from resurrected him from the dead. And we have that same power living in us, and we can't even get out of bed in the morning. But that power is ours. It's available. And it's not something that we are to take and I'm going to do it and use it. No, it's God that does it and accomplishes it through us. It's not, I'm going to do this because I have the power of God. No, God has the power of God, and he chooses to use it through whom he will. Romans 6:14 says, For sin will have no dominion over you, since you're not under the law, but under grace. You're not under the authority of sin anymore as a Christian. You sin, but you're not under its authority. You are not under the authority of sin anymore. If you sin now, you choose to sin. Grace. What is grace? Here's the definition of grace. The divine influence on the heart and its revelation through the life. That's the best definition of grace you'll ever hear, because that is the actual Greek definition of the word grace. It's the divine influence on the heart and its revelation through the life. It's what God does in your life and then how it's revealed through your life. So you are no longer under the influence of the law, but listen to this. You are not under the influence of the law. You are rather under the divine influence to do what is right. You're under grace. You're not under the influence of the law, the Old Testament law. You're not under that law. Now you are under the law, or if you will, under grace. What is grace? The divine influence on the heart and its revelation through the life. So that's what God's doing now in your life. He's revealing himself in your life so he can reveal himself through your life. You are no longer under the influence of the law, but rather divine influence to do what is right. So you need to live as one who has that power over sin and death.